Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back. So in this tutorial, basically I'm going to be scrapping the old ones. I'm going to be going over and doing it with Laravel instead. So we're basically going to go through this now, and I'm going to show you guys how to set it up, but there's more in depth on Laravel's website on how to actually set this up. Especially if you read this, from what I remember, you just need Composer. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do this. But before we do that, there's one thing you need to do. I use Xampp, so for me, I can show you guys how to do that even. So I've already got this set up for me, but I'm going to show you guys how it would be done. So we go to here, and we go to vhost.conf. Now you're probably not going to have these here. You're probably just going to have these. If so, just replicate this one here. This is the one we're going to be using. So just replicate this. Obviously you want this URL here is your site. So htdocs, and this is the directory. And it's going to be Laravel and then public. So once we've done that, we need to go into our C drive, Windows. You may think this seems strange, but System32, drivers, etc., hosts. Copy that out onto your desktop. Excuse me. And now you probably won't have these here neither, but just create this 127.0.0.1 social.com, and then you want to drag that back over. Now let's close that. We've already got this here. I'm going to move this. Actually, I'm going to leave this here. We need to copy this one here. But before we do this, we can close this. We need to copy this URL. Well, that location. Open command prompt. And I need to select that. Does that do it? No. Okay, so F. Okay, now if I do CD, remove this junk, boom. Okay, sweet. Now we can copy this command. Did I close that Google Chrome? Must have been weird. Now let's copy this. And we'll paste this in here. So let me paste it. God damn it. There we go. And we're just going to leave that like that. Remove the blog, press enter. Now this takes a minute to install. I'm just going to have a sip of my water while this installs. Doesn't take too long, takes a little while though. And we're done. Okay. So now we can actually begin, and we can open our IDE, which for me is PHP still. So we're going to open our directory, which is this one. Okay, this window. We're going to be using the terminal, so we're going to need that there. Now we can begin really. So Laravel comes with a really nice thing, and it basically allows you to just create like the register, the logging system and stuff, all with a terminal command. But before we do that, we need to configure a couple of things. So in app, I can't remember if there is anything in app yet. So we're gonna need to set this to social.com in my instance. Is there anything down here? Nope. And database. We don't edit that there, sorry. EMB. Localhost, for me the database is, I'm going to open it, which will be social.com/php myadmin. Excuse me. I believe this is the one. I'm just going to delete these. Copy that name, paste it in there, root, and we have no password because it's localhost. Excuse me. So we can close that, and we are good there. Okay, so next thing we need is, let me just get it up. This comes really useful. So we're just going to copy this, which we should, oh actually we need to do this, I completely forgot. Composer, init composer. Let's click OK. And now we should be able to just run this right from here. Awesome. Now we need to add this in our providers, which are found in app.php on the config. Now, when you see them, a lot of them will usually come, like see it like this. In Laravel 5.2, which is the one we're using, it comes, and we have to change it so it looks like this basically. And with our aliases, it's a very similar procedure, and they're just lower down. So we just remove the quotes from that one and add the same again, class, put a comma on the end, and that's that done. Last thing we need to do is, let me just find it because I can never remember this little piece. There. And just run that vendor publish. Okay, so now we can just run php artisan make auth, and this creates a few files for us. Now this is basically a whole auth controller, which is brilliant. It has, like I said before, has a login, a registration and everything. All that's done for us, so we just have to configure one or two things beforehand and we're good to go, really. It's that simple. It's awesome, you can jump straight into the coding. So let's look at what it added for us. So we have auth login blade. So we have a storage here, not storage, sorry, resources, views. This is where all our views will be kept. So you see here, auth login.blade. Here's the code for the login. So we have the other ones as well. They're just the views. It created a controller for us, which is stored in HTTP controllers. This is your home controller, and you have the auth controllers as well. So now that they're done, we should be able to test this now. I need to check one thing. Where the model's stored from this, I'm not sure. Anyway, hold on. Database, is there any migrations? Yeah. Create users table. So before we do this next step, this is where you'll want to create the extra data for your table, for your users table basically. So if there's any specific extra data you want, you can add it in here. It's very simple. Basically the type that you would create for the column when you're creating a new table would be this. This is your column here basically. That's a string, increment in ID that you would normally put on your first column. See, string, email, unique, password, 60 characters. So excuse me, I'm a little bit bunged up. So now we can do PHP artisan migrate, and this, let's put this into this Google Chrome window, and this will populate the table for us. So let me just have some more. So that's a brilliant start. Now we can actually see this in use. Social.com, here we go. Log in, register. So we're gonna create an account. There we go, you're logged in and you can log out. So this is basically the start to our application, and we can modify all of this view, which is brilliant because this is basically the same as what I would have started out on. Well, what I did start out on the last tutorial is basically the same layout, so that's brilliant for starting out, and I do quite appreciate that. And it comes with a layout as well, so we can just go straight off this layout and do our own little thing. So we have the login there in the nav bar. Everything's good for that, so we don't need to worry about this now. We can just jump straight into app development. So let's log back in. And I'm not sure which page this actually renders. Ah, you're logged in, home.php. So let me just have some more water. Let me just think for a second. I'm going on this pace with you guys. Like, I'm thinking about this as I go, in the best methods to try and make this project, because I'm actually thinking of it as you guys building a valuable product from these tutorials. I'm not thinking of it, oh, we're just going to slap something together so you can learn this. You're actually building something good here, something you guys can use in production as well. That's the idea, so it's actually useful. So 1 second. Right, so we have this. So we're going to create another page. Actually, we can just use this one here, actually, to be quite honest. So we might as well. Let's look. We can actually add, let me show you guys this now. So where does it log in? Auth controller, most likely. That's for registration. I'm not actually sure where that logs in, guys. Excuse me. This is weird. Let me just see. Where does this post to? Yeah, login. Okay, so it's one way to find out. We have our roots, and it's not in there neither. Brilliant, brilliant. This is a great start. So it must have something to do with this. No idea. Okay, so that's a great start. I don't understand why. Mind boggled. Never mind. So let's just jump into the coding anyway. So let's delete this panel. Actually, we could leave that panel there, and we're gonna add a new status. Is this user model setup? Yes, it is. It's not a user model. Okay, so we're gonna create a new user model. Model. We're gonna put it in a folder called eloquent user. So we should have this here. So now what we do is we type public timestamps equal true, protected table, whoops, equal the table name, which for us in our case I think is users. Yep. And guarded. Now this just enables timestamps for the table, and guarded, you have to add this in there, mainly do it for the ID. You have to guard at least one thing, otherwise you won't be able to mass insert into the database. It's kind of weird and it will throw an error, so you can be more specific about it, but if you want to know more about it, just read up on Laravel's documentation about the eloquent models. It's really it's quite cool what you can do with it when you look at it from a security standpoint, but I never really depend on it and never really tend to. Maybe should, I'm not too sure, but anyhow, this basically allows us to access our user anyway in a very nice way, and we can do a lot with that, so it's absolutely awesome. So let me just sort these files out. So let's add, whoops, and text area class equals, whoops, form control, and that's gonna need a name. Whoops. Okay, sweet. So let's log back in. There we go, write a new status. Let's add the button to the bottom, the class panel footer. Button info, button. I'm gonna make this button pull to the right. I'll make it a small button. And we need to add clear fix. Sweet, looks nice. My throat is really playing up on me. It's right pain to talk, so I apologize. Makes me want to cough every time I talk, so bear with me. I need to drink more water. Okay, so next thing we need is Laravel forms. think this is, no it's not the one. Or do you have to, nope, wrong page. Is it built right in? I think it's built right in. No idea, we'll find out. Okay, so at the top, we don't want to delete that. We want to open a new form. And we want to close it at the bottom. Now, if we refresh our code, no, form not found. We need to find that form builder. That is the same one. It's built into Laravel, so I'm not sure why it's not working. Completely wrong thing. Where is it, guys? This is it. Here we go. Laravel collected. That's what I need. So composer require Laravel collected /HTML. Now we're going to type composer update, so we'll update all our dependencies. And we're going to have to add these providers. There we go, they are added. Brilliant. Okay, so now this should work. Awesome. Now if we look, automatically creates a form code for us, and Laravel uses these CSRF tokens, these tokens in form requests, and if you don't have them, and you don't have you have to turn it off on your root. Laravel does them automatically, and if you don't turn it off, then basically it won't let you post to that root. But that's if you don't have the token. If you do it this way, it automatically generates a token and stuff, saves you writing extra code, also saves you writing all this code out, so you can just skip all that by just writing form open, form close. Awesome. So happy days. So now, anyway, this is our home.php. So where is this? This here, home controller app index. For some reason, we cannot select that. We're gonna delete these. Okay, so we got the view home. And instead of doing that, we're just gonna do it here. Okay, so what did we create? This way, what was it called? Status text. Copy that. Now Laravel is awesome because we can do if input, I believe it's that one, get status text, yeah. And that is basically that is basically that anyway, status text, and I don't know, it's a lot nicer, it's a lot easier to use, it looks better, looks a lot cleaner in code, so yeah, I love it. Text, and we can do E to escape the text, which equals E, escape the text, and now we just do input. I also made a mistake. Not get, sorry, it's has. So instead of if post equal like doesn't equal nothing or whatever, then yeah. Basically if it's not empty, if it does post. So we get our text and we need to create a new table, so that means we need a new migration. So PHP artisan make migration, and we're gonna create this and we're gonna call it user status updates. Now we're gonna type schema create. Why is that not working? Let me just write this out. Function blueprint T now there's normally no problems with this little piece of code. I don't know why it's giving me that. Let me just have a look at one of my other projects, see if it gives me the same on schema, because that's kind of weird. God, there's too many files in my other project. No, the schema's fine on that one. And it has the same files. So I don't understand the problem. And it's spelled correctly, no idea. We'll just carry on with the code and try it. I guess that's the only way to do it. So increments ID, and this is gonna be unique. And we're gonna want long text probably, which is gonna be our status text. We're probably gonna want the user's ID, which is gonna be an integer. And it's gonna need to be unsigned, so it can be massive. What other variables would we need for the user's status? I'd say that's probably it. I mean, we need the timestamps, but I mean, I'd pretty much say that's all we need. So let's try this. PHP artisan migrate. If that worked, then all is good. Yeah, we're good. Awesome. So that basically creates a table for us. It's nicer to do it this way, I feel. Gets it more specific to Laravel's needs, I guess, and yeah, it's just easier. But now we need to go ahead and create a new model. So we make this in Eloquent again. eloquent, and we're gonna call it status. And we're just gonna go ahead, copy this code, just make time quicker. And we're gonna, no, don't wanna do that. Copy this. We can close that now. And now it's as simple as just type in new status, and then we can do user status. What did we set? So we want the status text, which equals text. User's ID, which would be auth. We can add request to this as well, and we can get it through that. But if we do, I'm not sure which auth it is. I believe this works. I'm just going to double check this. It seems so. So if we remove this ID here, we should have all the user's information in that variable for the authorized user. Attributes. Yeah. Name, Sam, email, password. Okay, it's awesome. So this is already implemented into Laravel. We can just access the user's data. You see the flow compared to like Slim. It's so much nicer and easier to transition. Like developing things in this is just so much nicer and cleaner. The flow is nicer to actually create applications, and it just seems to be so much, I don't know, cleaner, just better, and applications just seem to work nicer. So anyway, now we're just gonna do user status save, and we're gonna type flash. Probably need to, yeah, flash success. The status has been posted. And now we're gonna do return redirect root. What is this root? Doesn't actually have one. So we're gonna give this a root. So this is in, okay. So this basically names the root as home, and I'll show you why that's useful now. So now all we do here is we type home, and that'll generate us a link back to that page. And it should post the status to the database, which we're about to find out. So okay, right, I forgot to do something. Roots, change this get to any. There we go. So now we need to show the status on this page. So now what we do here is we create an array on the end, and also going to do is we're going to get all the statuses, because I mean, we don't just want to just use statuses, we want to show them all. Maybe we want to limit it to 15, though, show the latest 15. Top 15 posts. And we're just going to do status, and I think it can just be limit 50. No, we just do take all take 15. And now we can just go into our view. Underneath this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new view. I'm gonna call the app internal, and we're gonna call this user status layout.blade. Basically, I'm just going to copy this just to get the panel design, so it cannot be, saves time rewriting it. Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing with this is excuse me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into, is it home? Yeah, we're going to go into home. And we're just going to do at for each. What did we set that variable as? Top 15 posts. Top 15 posts. Let's post at end for each. Now inside this, we're just going to type view, and we're going to reference back to our layout dot app internal. I spelled that correctly. Yep. Dot user status layout. Now they can get a bit long, but you can keep your views very small and limited, so it's best to keep it nice and clean. Like maybe extra information, but I mean, if it helps you know what it is in the future, it doesn't really make a difference, so use it. We're gonna pass an array anyway, and we're gonna add status, and we're gonna just post. Actually, we're just gonna call this post. Now we should call it status, my bad. And we should call this one status as well. And we're gonna just pass status. Okay, sweet. So what we've done here, we've basically looped through all the statuses, and we're gonna display this view every time. Excuse me. Now what we can do here as well is we can put the user into there as well. So we can do user development find status users ID. Now we can literally just put here and just check the database. User name. Now we can just put here what was our status text it was called. Now if we go back to our home, there we go, there it is. Now Laravel is quite nice. Like, as you can see, I did that in quite a nice timely manner, so it's pretty sweet with the things you can do. Now we're gonna obviously expand on this more in the future, but you can see how fast I made this for you guys. So once you guys are up to speed with this one, there should be another tutorial out, and we're gonna go into more depth. Now we can add comments to these statuses. We can do a lot more. I'm not really sure where else I want to go into this. We could add user profiles, sends and stuff. Not really sure, but we'll go any direction. But just leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys want to go into with this, because we'll take any direction. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This is the first episode, and this was plowing straight into that shit, man. We dive straight into this Laravel, so go kick it, guys. I hope you guys got through this tutorial nicely, and I shall see you next time.